Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadRooter.com. A little relief from the silver rigging pressure. It's rigged up just like it's rigged down. It's easier to rig it up because all they have to do is stop pushing it down so hard. I talked yesterday about the Commitment of Traders report, how the bad guys, the riggers, were trying to get under the 200-day moving average. If this is an indication right here, they didn't get there. So they didn't get under the 200-day moving average, which probably means that there wasn't enough people willing under that 200-day moving average to cover what the bankers are trying to do. Remember, when they push down, they have to lay on a hell of a lot of shorts just to get it going in that direction. And then the market takes over, everybody panics and gets out, and then they buy them back. In it's situations where they're not sure if they can buy them back under the 200-day moving average because people are kind of onto their game, they won't be able to close them out. So they got to let it go up again to try to get more weak hands in, and then try it again. We'll try again. They can, obviously. They can throw a couple 100 billion, trillion, quadrillion ounces of paper derivative silver at the price of silver to do it. But then they have to cover that. So that's the key is, can they cover when they start pushing the price of silver down? Can they cover? I wasn't sure that they could. This is a good sign, I think, a good sign that silver didn't cross the 200-day moving average. And I think the only reason it didn't is because they don't think that there's enough people willing to take the short side anymore. If there's anybody out there who doesn't understand, who's got serious money in the COMEX, which is only a handful of people, really. I mean, not people, but institutions. Most, 99% of these trades are the banks trading back and forth to each other, just to control the price, not necessarily put it in any direction, mainly just to control it on the upside and the downside. It's done with high-frequency trades run out of, the orchestrator is Vinny Viola of Virtu Financial. Used to be called EWT LLC. I've been exposing these guys for well over, how long now? Over 10 years, maybe 15 years since the creation of the silver ETF, SLV. More than that even. I was like, why is a company that specializes in high-frequency trading and computer trading an authorized participant in SLV, which is the physical side of SLV? And then I did a whole bunch of research on Vinny Viola, who is he? And you might remember that he... Trump had nominated him to be head of the army or something like that. Trump has a way of doing that, bringing people who are kind of the bad guys into a position of visibility. This whole J.D. Vance thing, not loving it. Huge connections with Peter Thiel. I mean, controlled by Peter Thiel, who's huge connections with the crypto pedo cabal and all that. So I'm not a fan. I don't know what Trump's thinking, but I wasn't a fan when he nominated or tried to get Vinny Viola to do it. Vinny Viola had been kicked out of the Army or the Navy. No, it was the Army, or he was about to be. He was involved in the West Point scandal of cheating, the cheating scandal from West Point. That was back in the early 80s, late 70s timeframe. So much history about all these people. It all interconnects. Really interesting article right here. Industrial demand might consume the entire silver market by 2025. That sounds like a Bix Weir article. This is in the Jerusalem Post, which is a Jewish... It's out of Israel, but a lot of people in the United States read it. And it hits many of the key points that I've been screaming about for a long time. Experts warn that surging industrial and military silver demand could deplete inventories by 2025, driving price volatility and supply chain strains. In a stark projection, industry experts warn that silver inventories are on the brink of depletion by 2025. That's only, half a year left, less than half a year. Driven by surging industrial demand, this development could have far-reaching implications for markets, investors, and industries reliant on the precious metal. Do you think? Have you ever heard of unobtainium, as Cliff High calls it? Unobtainium is a situation where no matter what you're willing to pay for the silver, you can't get any physical silver. When anybody goes to buy silver, you have to have somebody willing to give it up. Give it up. And it might be, mining companies. You might have contracts with mining companies. It might be individuals. It might be a broker, a dealer, a bank. But they are making the same decision that you are making. Is this a price that, most people wouldn't do something unless it benefited them, right? So is this a price that I would be happy to get rid of my silver at, knowing that there's none left? No. That's how fast this silver market can seize up. Even in your local, your local silver dealer, when the prices start running, they're not going to want to get rid of their silver. They're like, I don't want to sell it. And you'll say, oh, well, I'll give you an extra, extra $200 above the $1,000 it's worth. And they're like, I can't refill my stock. I don't want to sell it. Give me an extra $1,000 of the current $1,000, $2,000 for an ounce of silver. I'll think about it. That is unobtainium. That's the world of unobtainium. So yes, go to your local silver dealer or contact Andy Scheckman. He's got inventory, at least for right now. That Andy Scheckman, his inventory will seize up at some point. As in, you won't get it. He might even stop selling it. But if you get in there now and buy it, he'll follow through. Make sure you buy what's in inventory, because he can't control, incoming shipments if this thing seizes up really quickly. You can get in touch with him, info at milesfranklin.com. It's if you don't have a local guy that you trust. And it's good to have 2 or 3 local guys to until you find the guy you really like and you trust he's going to give you a fair price, because you don't want to sit there and haggle with him every 2 minutes. But if you say, hey, I got Joe Schmo down the street and I got Fred Q up there in the town next to me, I'm going to talk to all 3 of you guys, and whoever gives me the best price, I'm going to buy it. And if we build a good relationship, I'll keep coming and buy from you. So, I don't feel like haggling every time I come in here. And they get it. It happens all the time. And they say, okay, cool. Here's my best price. Then you go check the other ones, and you obviously make sure that they're not slimy dealers and things like that. Oh, I'll get it for you on Tuesday, I swear. So that's how you do it. Or just contact Andy Scheckman. I've already done that with Andy. Love Andy. He's taking care of a lot of Road to Ruta people. All right. To go on, rising industrial demand. Now, this is a newspaper, the Jerusalem Times, the Jerusalem Post, that is fairly well distributed, about 100,000 subscriber base, something in that range. But remember that the Jewish religion tends to have people in very high places in the finance world. It's kind of built into their religion, I guess, somehow. I don't know, but you look at all the heads of corporations and finance ministers and big money people, and there's a heavily weighted Jewish religion tradition. And it just is what it is. So people are looking at this going, oh my God, here's an investment that sounds like it's going to be a monster. That's 100,000 people looking at this. Anyway, rising industrial demand, technological advancements. The demand for silver in various high-tech industries is skyrocketing, such as electronics, photovoltaics, automotive, are major consumers of silver, utilizing its exceptional conductivity and reflectivity. Solar power surge. Now, obviously, this is the big one. If you've been following Road to Ruta, I've been screaming this for so long. The solar power surge is not stopping, and they're lying to you. The Silver Institute is lying to you. Jeffrey Christian's lying to you about how much silver is being used. Solar energy continues to be a significant driver of silver demand. Each photovoltaic installation requires substantial amounts of silver. With global photovoltaic installations expected to hit 660 gigawatts by 2024, the pressure on silver supplies is intensifying. Now, is 660 the number for 2024? I would. It's potentially. I said somewhere between 6 and 7. What's already baked in the cake is like 595 gigawatts. That's DC, gigawatts DC. About 595 is planned. It's already started. They've already done all the processes. But there's always surprises. And I think 660, I think that's a possibility, which would absolutely destroy what a lot of the the mainstream solar people have been saying. And they've been wrong every year for like 5 years, like massively wrong. So if it's up by 660, that's so much silver. It's just shockingly large amount of silver. And even the Silver Institute can't, chat that away. They'll try, though. They'll try. Electric vehicles. The shift towards electric vehicles is another critical factor. Silver usage in EVs, from battery systems to complex electronics, is expected to grow exponentially as the market for EV expands. That's absolutely true. You can say what you want. People say, oh, no, electric car's dead. Bullshit. The numbers have proven these people wrong over and over and over and over again. Yes, it's not growing at the double every year pace that it was. And obviously it couldn't. But in the same breath, everybody I know who has electric car loves it. Now, I live in California. There's a lot of sunshine. There's a lot of, you have to worry about the temperature. Sometimes if it's cold in the winters, your electric car won't go as far. But for the most part, people around the world, and the United States doesn't really matter when it comes to electric cars. China and India, and China mainly. China is making more electric cars than you can shake a stick at, and they're parking most of them. They'll build gigantic cities. It's like a replica of Paris, France. A whole town that looks like Paris, France, in China that nobody lives in. They call them ghost cities. And China is preparing for the destruction of the old system. I talked yesterday how they have a different stock market. They have two types of shares in their stock market. One is for locals and one is for foreigners. Guess which one they're going to shut down when the system falls apart? They're going to shut down the foreign one. Obviously, all these multinational banks and corporations that invest in China, it'll be gone. Globalization will end, and you will lose your investment. Anyway, another one: military use as a key factor. Defense technology. The military's demand for silver is another significant contributor to the depletion of inventories. Silver's use in advanced defense systems, including weaponry, communications devices, surveillance, is crucial due to its superior electrical conductivity and resistance to corrosion. Aerospace applications. Silver is extensively used in aerospace for its reliability and efficiency in critical components. As global defense budgets expand, the military and aerospace sectors are expected to consume increasing amounts of silver. That is all true. Now, there's been a lot of talk saying, oh my God, they're using so many pounds of silver in every Tomahawk missile and all that stuff. I don't think any of that is verifiable. I mean, the military is not going to show you how they build their Tomahawks. But if you even take the number that people are throwing around and times it by every Tomahawk ever made, you don't get all that much silver. And you don't know how much of that silver is already accounted for in the electronics part of the annual silver survey or anything like that. How much is already accounted within that, because obviously they'll use things off the shelf as well as things they make to make these types and components and things like that. So there's no reason to throw all this silver into a lot of stuff unless it makes it better. But I do think there's a lot of silver used in the military. People are throwing around 300, 400 million ounces. I highly doubt that. And that's military around the world. Highly doubt that. Just because you don't need it. I mean, yes, you're using more and more silver every year because you need more and more silver components. But nobody knows the number, and people are saying, oh, it's so big. And it would be another thing to learn in this crazy world. But the original things they were talking about was, the amount of silver in a tomahawk. I did the math. You can find out how many tomahawk missiles have been made, and you add it up, it's like a couple million ounces going into tomahawks. Okay? A couple million ounces is sneeze type of silver. Achoo! Oh, there goes a couple million ounces. A couple hundred million ounces. No, a couple million ounces. It wasn't a lot. But there are a lot of other types of applications we just don't know. And it doesn't matter. The amount of physical silver being used doesn't matter because the price is rigged on the COMEX, which is not a physical market. Anyway, also declining mining and few new discoveries. We've talked about that. Market implications. This is what cracks me up. Price volatility. As industrial use devours silver inventories, market analysts predict heightened price volatility. The scarcity of silver could lead to sharp price increases affecting everything from jewelry to electronic goods. No, it won't. The price of silver cannot do that. Why? Because it's rigged on the COMEX, a futures and options exchange run by the Federal Reserve and the banking cabal and the Treasury. There's a trading room in the basement of the Treasury, if you didn't know, and they'll just click a mouse. Oh, you think this is volatility? Watch this. Bang. We've seen it time and time again. But they are, I'm in this game for the end game. When the price riggers are gone and the COMEX is shut down, that's going to be a good day. And I think it's coming. Force majeure because of war, most likely, is what they're going to do. Because I don't think they can fully get out of the short position by slamming it under the 200-day moving average. If they do, okay, then who's gonna take their short position? I don't think anybody would in their right mind. It's way too late. People know way too much. But hey, they can take losses by doing it for themselves. What does the U.S. Treasury care about? A few $100 billion in losses on their derivative book on the COMEX. They don't care. So they'll put it wherever they want, and that's why I always scream: get your metal in your own possession. Don't even look at price. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So that's what's going on. Exchange for physicals were low. That's really all I look at now, the exchange for physical. This number for the September delivery, 88,000 contracts, which is 440 million ounces of silver. That gets wheedled away as we get closer and closer to the actual delivery day. So it'll come in really low, but the exchange for physical is a different thing. That's taking a COMEX contract and either swapping it for one at the LBMA. These are all deals that are done off the books, by the way. Basically taking delivery by taking delivery of a LBMA contract that you can get delivered in London, because they don't want this happening in the United States. They don't want anybody to see what's happening here. Or the other thing you can do with it is exchange it for a basket of SLV. And these are all deals done by like JP Morgan, HSBC, Bank of America, off the books and behind the scenes. So you, Mr. Investor, who's supposed to know everything the banks know, which is the law, you don't know what's really going on there, but they do. So yeah, that's where we are. It is a huge month already for exchange for physicals, EFPs, 45 million ounces plus, what was this one? Almost 2 million ounces right here, the 350, almost 2 million ounces. So let's just say 47 to 48 million ounces already in only 7 days of the month of August. So we got four times that would be close to the largest silver exchange for physical ever, which makes sense right before a COMEX delivery date, because then they have a hell of a lot of metal. Because this is all banks. This is all banks moving metal back and forth. Now, when it goes to the LBMA, that's when you get the buyers from India and buyers from China involved. The Indian numbers come out in about 7 more days, the 15th of September. I have a feeling, I don't know for sure. I've been watching the IIBX, which is the new Indian silver exchange, and they just don't do any volumes unless the numbers are really low. They changed the law in India, and now it's cheaper to do it different ways than the IBX and import it from the UAE and all that. I think it's been input already. I'm pretty sure. I'll know when on the 15th when they say, it wasn't, my hope is it's 20 million ounces that they imported, which is a massive amount of silver. They did 70 million ounces in February. Overall, if they hit, the all-time high is like 300 million ounces for India to import. This is real silver, by the way, not the COMEX bullshit. This is the real stuff going into India for use in jewelry, which is like a dowry type of jewelry. People invest in the jewelry. Or even more important to them these days is the solar panels. They're doing massive amounts of solar panels in India, and they even have their manufacturing their own within their own borders. So they're going to need to bring in more and more silver. China, we don't know how much is going in there, but it's ridiculous amount because of they make like 90% of the solar panels, the TopCon at least, which is all that's really going in now. PERC is gone, done. But you won't hear like the likes of Jeffrey Christian say that, or the Silver Institute, because they like this whole thing about thrifting. We're thrifting all the silver out. And bullshit. That's what I call bullshit. Okay. The other thing you're gonna just right now, you should be so happy that Theta and Theta Fuel are so low, because what Theta is doing behind the scenes is shocking. It really is. It is going to save the universe of the AI world, and of the broadband world, and of the cloud storage. There's just not enough storage capacity at the Google and Amazon Cloud and Microsoft Azure. Just not enough capacity for AI. I'm sorry. There's not enough, and they're not making it fast enough out of Taiwan. Not making the chips fast enough out of Taiwan. So what are the alternatives, especially when I think China goes into Taiwan and all of a sudden hell breaks loose? Theta. What will stand there? Hey, we're going to have to do something different. We're going to have to share the current resources because they're not making anything new and it's growing too fast and blah, blah, blah. So the sharing economy, DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure network. That's what Theta is. Theta has invented a patented way to share hard drives, share computing CPU power, GPU power, and share broadband. It's a sharing economy. It's like Uber, except for internet networks, physical internet networks. It's amazing technology. Theta's changed so many times along the path, and just nobody knows about it. Literally, still, believe it or not, nobody even understands how big this is. But they will very soon. Again, we're approaching, so they have a countdown clock at Theta, 48 days until this. The EdgeCloud for mobile, unleashing AI computing on 3.9 billion Android devices. In one of the biggest leaps forward in Theta's history, the mobile version of the Theta Edge node for Android devices is scheduled to launch on September 25th, 2024. For the first time ever, the Theta team has implemented a video object detection AI model that runs on consumer-grade Android mobile devices, delivering true computation at the edge and enabling unparalleled scalability and reach. VOD AI is a computer vision technique that uses AI to analyze video frames to identify objects by scanning video frames, looking for potential objects, and drawing bounding boxes around them. This process is similar to how a human visual cortex works. And it talks about it a little bit. Users have the option to run. The users will have the option to only run mobile edge jobs when the device is on Wi-Fi and is plugged in and charging, for instance, overnight while asleep. But having a global footprint in thousands of Android devices effectively means having 24/7 coverage to complete even the largest video object detection jobs. For example, if 30,000 mobile devices around the world join the Theta Edge network and each device is working for 8 hours overnight, this yields 240,000 hours of computation power in a single day. By splicing a source video or set of video into as much as 14 million segments and parallelizing across 30,000 devices. Even ultra-high resolution, complex, and lengthy video can be processed seamlessly and effectively. This is truly groundbreaking computation at the edge. The Theta team invites you to participate in the pilot launch of the mobile edge node beginning in September and provide us feedback. So it's just, this is the mobile. This is just one application of the mobile thing. But when you look at what Theta does, they'll say, this is for one application. They'll find out if it works. And they'll say, oh, by the way, not only can you use it for video computation, you can use it for X, Y, Z, and you can share your hard drive for AI storage. You can share your GPU power. You can share your broadband. They already have that technology built into. That's what the Edge node is. That's what it does. It's a software download. And I've been screaming this for I don't know how long. Theta is a software download that allows. It's like the Uber of computers. You're sharing computers, and it's as risky as people say, it's too risky. No way, they'd steal all my data. It's as risky as like running any program, of watching a YouTube channel. Once you're on the internet, there's always a little bit of risk. There's hundreds of different ways that are built in to block people from attacking you. But yeah, it adds risk. If you ever go online, you're going to add risk to your computer. But there's ways to combat that risk to make it very small. And that's what Theta has done. So it's really exciting. And let me keep going. Theta EdgeCloud and the 10,000 active edge nodes around the world are the backbone that allows Theta to deliver fast, cost-effective compute work for AI and video applications over a decentralized network. The goal of the EdgeCloud for mobile is leveraging up to 3.9 billion active Google Android devices for certain types of AI computation workloads. Android today accounts for 70% of the mobile operating market share across 190 countries and provides an ideal platform to evaluate mobile CPU, GPU capabilities. This also sets up the opportunity to target over 150 million active Android TVs globally that run the Android TV operating system from Sony, Sharp, and Philips, and many more brands. While the average daily consumption of television right now is about 3 hours, this leaves the device available the majority of the time for other types of computation and data sharing, especially as these always connected smart TVs increase CPU and GPU capabilities over the decades. So Sony, Sharp, Sony's a partner already. Samsung's a partner already. They can, very soon, all these TVs that get delivered to your front door will have a Theta Edge node already built in and working for you. You don't have to do anything. And they say, by the way, as a bonus, here's your Theta wallet where you're earning T-Fuel while you're not watching TV. Because you have a computer inside your television. I know, it's crazy. So that's what's coming. And yes, it will take forever to unwind and roll out the Theta Fuel price. I think Theta Fuel is more undervalued than Theta. And the reason I'm saying that is when all these devices, they're not giving out Theta to all these devices. They're not earning Theta. They're earning Theta Fuel. So all these people will understand Theta Fuel a lot more than they understand Theta. Theta is like the overseer. That's the mothership. They oversee and guide the whole process. But Theta Fuel is the working man's money. It's kind of like gold and silver. Gold you just stick in the vault after you dig it out of the ground. Silver, you put it out in use. It's in phones. It's in everything. So when Theta Fuel, when people start saying, "What's this Theta Fuel stuff?" And they learn that they can earn 7% right now, I think, on just for staking. I think the booster has not really kicked in yet. And we're getting a lot of extra tokens like La Vida and there's a few other ones, but that will happen as the use cases ramp up. And I was thinking the other day, and I talked about it yesterday, the potential for war over Taiwan. Anything happens, and you're looking at a freezing of the chip market, which freezes everything on the planet. Theta will be one of the options that because we won't be able to get new devices for quite a while, especially if they blow them up. That's a 10-year putback, and you won't have a new phone. You won't have a new computer. The vast majority of the semiconductor world is in Taiwan, right on that coastline. It would be China would shoot themselves in the foot to blow that up, but who knows what these crazy people will do in America, especially the American military people. Maybe they want us to go back in time. Maybe they don't want another computer to be sold. Who knows? But it's like 90% of the real important chips are made in Taiwan, and 60% of the rest of them are made in Taiwan. So it's a little island that's probably the most important plot of land on the planet right now, and it will be in the sights of China, I think, before Trump gets in, because they obviously can't do it when Trump gets in. He wouldn't stand for it. But the Biden regime, Biden's obviously not part of it. He's at home eating his pudding right now. But the people who run it, it's really scary that these people are in charge of what used to be the most powerful nation in the world. We could be again, mind you, but yeah, it's really scary. So yeah, I think T-Fuel is a screaming buy at 5.5 cents. And you can go to roadtoroot.com. On the private road, we teach you how to buy it, store it, and stake it. And then we are currently giving away a paper wallet loaded with 10 Theta, 100 T-Fuel, and 1,000 T-Drop loaded on a paper wallet and sent to your front door for a 1-year private road subscription. So go check it out, roadtoroot.com. That's it. I'll talk to you later.